I have to take care of this truck because this truck takes care of me. And it's a partnership, and that's why I take care of it.
Karen Grassel and Michael Landon may have looked like the perfect television family, but behind the warm smiles of Little House on the Prairie, life was often far more complicated than fans ever imagined. On Ice Road Truckers, the story was different but just as surprising. Millions watched fearless drivers race across frozen lakes where one wrong move could mean falling through the ice. They became heroes to viewers around the world. Yet after the cameras stopped rolling, some of those familiar faces were gone forever, while others found themselves making headlines for reasons nobody expected. The real story isn't just about dangerous roads. It's about the heavy price that sometimes comes with fame, tragedy, and difficult choices. If you've watched Ice Road Truckers over the years, which driver left the biggest impression on you? Let me know in the comments, because some of the stories in this documentary may surprise even longtime fans. When Ice Road Truckers first premiered on the History Channel in 2007, it quickly became one of television's most popular reality shows. Inspired in part by the dangerous winter trucking industry in northern Canada and Alaska, the series followed real drivers hauling massive loads across frozen lakes and remote ice roads. Every trip came with real danger. If the ice cracked beneath a truck, there was often little chance of escape. That constant risk kept millions of viewers glued to their screens season after season. But what made the show special wasn't just the frozen roads. It was the people behind the wheel. Drivers like Alex Debegorsky, Lisa Kelly, Hugh Rowland, and many others became household names. They weren't actors reading scripts. They were experienced truckers facing real weather, real danger, and real pressure every single day. Their courage made viewers feel like they were sitting in the passenger seat, hoping each journey would end safely. As the show's popularity grew, so did the fame of its cast. Interviews, fan events, and television appearances turned ordinary truck drivers into celebrities almost overnight. But fame can change lives in unexpected ways. Some drivers embraced the attention, while others struggled with personal hardships that cameras never fully captured. Away from television, real life continued, bringing health problems, family losses, financial pressures, and, for some, legal troubles that would make headlines years later. And that is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Behind the exciting television adventures were heartbreaking chapters that few viewers ever saw. Some beloved cast members would never return to the ice roads. Others would face courtrooms instead of cameras. The truth behind those stories is far more emotional, and sometimes far more shocking, than the television series ever revealed. For years, viewers believed the toughest challenge these drivers faced was surviving another trip across miles of frozen ice. But once the cameras stopped following them, real life proved to be even more unpredictable. Some stories ended in heartbreaking loss. Others became surrounded by rumors that spread across the internet. Before we separate fact from fiction, it's important to remember one thing. Not every shocking headline told the whole story. One of the most respected drivers on the series was Alex Debegorsky. Long before television found him, Alex had already spent decades driving across Canada's harsh northern roads. His calm attitude, strong faith, and sense of humor made him one of the show's most recognizable faces. Fans often saw him smiling, even when blizzards, mechanical failures, or dangerous ice crossings threatened to end a trip. But Alex's life was never as easy as it looked on television. Years before Ice Road Truckers made him famous, he experienced an unimaginable family tragedy. In 2004, a fire destroyed his home in Hay River, Northwest Territories, and claimed the lives of his adult son Andrew, his grandson, and another child. Alex later spoke publicly about the heartbreaking loss and how his Christian faith helped him continue moving forward. It was a reminder that some of the hardest battles happen far away from television cameras. Even after becoming famous, Alex continued trucking instead of chasing a Hollywood lifestyle. While many reality stars disappear after their shows end, he stayed connected to the industry that made him who he was. Fans admired him not because he was perfect, but because he remained humble despite worldwide recognition. But Alex wasn't the only driver whose life captured viewers' attention. Another fan favorite was Lisa Kelly. As one of the few women driving massive rigs across dangerous ice roads, she quickly became one of the show's breakout stars. Many people expected her to fail. Instead, she earned respect by proving she could handle the same dangerous jobs as anyone else. Lisa's journey wasn't always smooth. She admitted in interviews that life on the road could be lonely and exhausting. The pressure of television fame added another challenge. Yet unlike many reality stars, Lisa largely avoided the scandals that often follow celebrity. She continued working in trucking and remained one of the most admired members of the cast. But while some cast members stayed out of trouble, others weren't so fortunate. That brings us to one of the biggest names in ice road truckers' history, Hugh Rowland. Known as the Polar Bear, Hugh became famous for his fearless driving style and larger-than-life personality. He was tough, outspoken, and often willing to take risks others avoided. Fans either loved him or couldn't believe some of the decisions he made. After leaving the series, however, Hugh's life took a painful turn. In 2014, he was seriously injured in a truck crash in British Columbia. The accident left him with lasting physical injuries, and he later filed a lawsuit connected to the crash, claiming it effectively ended his trucking career. For someone whose identity was built around driving, losing that career was a devastating blow. At this point, many fans started wondering something else. If accidents and personal tragedies had already changed so many lives, were the online rumors about cast members dying or going to jail actually true? The answer is more complicated than many YouTube videos make it sound. Before we reveal which cast members were truly lost, who actually faced criminal charges, and which viral stories are completely false, make sure you subscribe. The next part uncovers the facts that many channels either exaggerate or leave out entirely. The deeper we look into the history of ice road truckers, the clearer one thing becomes. The internet has mixed real tragedies with wild rumors, making it difficult for fans to know what actually happened. Some cast members truly passed away. Others faced serious legal problems, and a few have been falsely reported as dead or in jail for years. One of the saddest losses connected to the show was Daryl Ward. Daryl joined the series in Season 6 and quickly became one of its most popular personalities. He was known for his fearless attitude, quick smile, and willingness to help other drivers. Fans admired his confidence, but they also appreciated how genuine he seemed off the road. Then, in August 2016, heartbreaking news spread across the trucking community. Daryl was traveling to Montana to film a pilot for a new television project when the small plane he was riding in crashed near Rock Creek. Both Daryl and the pilot lost their lives. He was just 52 years old. His death shocked fans around the world. Fellow cast members shared emotional tributes, remembering him as someone who loved trucking, adventure, and his family more than fame. Even years later, many viewers still consider Daryl one of the greatest personalities ever featured on the show. But Daryl wasn't the only familiar face fans had to say goodbye to. George Spears, who appeared during the show's early seasons, also passed away. Although he wasn't one of the biggest television stars, he earned respect from fellow truckers for his years of experience and professionalism. His passing reminded viewers that many of these drivers worked in one of the world's most dangerous professions long before cameras ever arrived. Then came the stories that left fans asking an entirely different question. Who actually went to jail? The name most often connected with criminal charges is Timothy Zicor. Timothy appeared during Season 5, but his television career ended in controversy. In 2015, he was convicted in Nevada after being found guilty of kidnapping, extortion, and coercion involving a woman connected to a towing dispute. Court records showed that he served time in prison following the case. His conviction stunned many viewers because it was completely different from the image fans had seen on television. It also became one of the biggest criminal cases ever linked to the show's cast. However, this is where many online videos become misleading. Over the years, countless social media posts have falsely claimed that several other ice road trucker stars were arrested, died, or secretly went to jail. In reality, many of those claims have no reliable evidence behind them. Drivers like Lisa Kelly and Alex Debogorski have repeatedly become targets of fake death hoaxes and misleading clickbait, despite being alive and continuing with their lives. That contrast says something important. Fame can make a person recognizable overnight, but it can also turn them into the subject of rumors that spread much faster than the truth. Many people watching today may be going through a difficult season in their own lives. These stories remind us that one headline never tells the whole story. Behind every public face is a real person with victories, failures, heartbreak, and second chances. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who quietly keep moving forward after life changes forever. But there is one final chapter that ties all of these stories together. What became of the surviving cast members? And what lasting legacy did Ice Road Truckers leave behind after all these years? The story of Ice Road Truckers did not end when the final episode aired. Even today, fans continue searching for updates about the drivers who once crossed frozen lakes with thousands of pounds of cargo behind them. Some have retired from the spotlight. Others have continued trucking or taken on new adventures. But together, they left behind a legacy that few reality shows have ever matched. Lisa Kelly remains one of the most recognizable faces from the series. She has continued working in trucking and has stayed connected with fans through interviews and public appearances. Her success inspired many women to consider careers in an industry that had long been dominated by men. She proved that determination and skill matter far more than stereotypes. Alex Debogorski also continued sharing his love of trucking and his life experiences. Despite enduring personal heartbreak and the physical demands of decades on the road, he became a symbol of resilience. His story reminds us that true strength isn't about never facing tragedy. It's about finding a way to keep going afterward. For others, the road ended much sooner. The loss of Daryl Ward remains one of the most emotional chapters in the show's history. His passion for trucking and adventurous spirit are still remembered by fans who followed his journey from the very beginning. Then there are the lessons learned from the darker chapters. The legal troubles involving Timothy Zickur showed how quickly a public reputation can change. At the same time, the many false rumors surrounding other cast members remind us to question sensational headlines and rely on verified information instead of clickbait. Looking back, Ice Road Truckers was never just about giant trucks or frozen highways. It was about ordinary people taking extraordinary risks to do a difficult job. The cameras captured dramatic moments on the ice, but they could never capture every challenge these drivers faced once they returned home. Some found happiness. Some faced heartbreaking loss. Some made mistakes they could never erase. And others became victims of rumors that spread faster than the truth. In the end, perhaps that's why the show continues to fascinate people years later. Behind every episode was a real human story, one filled with courage, sacrifice, hope, and sometimes tragedy. Those stories continue to remind us that life can change in a single moment, whether you're driving across a frozen lake or simply trying to make it through another ordinary day. But if you think this is the most unbelievable story to come from reality television, think again. In our next documentary, we'll uncover another hidden chapter from a famous TV series that left fans asking the same question. What really happened after the cameras stopped rolling?